on this report.
रात की घटना है। सेंटर पॉइंट होटल के सामने ये घटना हुई है। एक कार ने दो कार और एक बाइक को डैश करके वो भाग गई है और भाग गई थी। जख्मी कोई नहीं था उसमें और उसका गुना दाखिल कर दिया है। दोनों आरोपियों को अरेस्ट भी कर लिया है और मेडिकल जांच भी करवा ली है। आगे की कार्रवाई चालू है और आरोपी के नाम अर्जुन हावरे और रोनित चिंतनवार है।
माझ्या मुलाच्या नावाने ती गाडी आहे आणि पोलिसांनी पूर्ण चौकशी केली पाहिजे, कुणालाही वेगळा न्याय लावू नये आणि पोलीस इन्क्वायरीमध्ये जे जे दोषी असतील त्यावर ती कारवाई केली पाहिजे। मी कुठल्याही पोलीस यंत्रणेची आता बोललो नाही, त्यांना जे आढळेल सीसीटीव्हीमध्ये किंवा जे काही त्याच्यामध्ये गुन्हा दाखल होईल तो सर्वांसाठी न्यायासारखा असला पाहिजे, कोणी राजकारणाचा असो कोणी असो। पण मला जे वाटतं पोलिसांनी पूर्ण इन्क्वायरी केली पाहिजे, सीसीटीव्ही सर्व्हेलन्स तपासले पाहिजे आणि योग्य कारवाई केली पाहिजे। सुदैवाने
Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. Rahul Gandhi is on a 4-day visit to the United States and he spoke to a bunch of students in Washington yesterday where he said some pretty controversial things. The most controversial, of course, and frankly, it's factually incorrect, when he said that Sikhs in India today are under threat. Sikhs are not sure about being allowed to go to the Gurdwara. They are not sure about being allowed to wear their turban or wear their kada. Now, even Rahul Gandhi knows that this is not true. There isn't a single instance of a Sikh being targeted purely on the basis of his or her religion. Yes, they've been targeted for their politics sometimes. There were farmer protests here in 22-23 when a large number of those farmers died. Many of them happened to be Sikhs, but that was not for religious reasons. That was perhaps for political reasons. So why then is Rahul Gandhi ratcheting up this whole fear-mongering regarding the Sikh community when clearly no Sikh has died in this country? There is no, instance of any kind of mass atrocities against Sikhs. If Rahul Gandhi had said, yes, Muslims are under fear, there might be a kernel of truth in that, given all the lynchings that we've seen, but certainly not the Sikh community. And that too, for Rahul Gandhi to say all of this, to propagate what is completely a factual inaccuracy from foreign soil, are those attacks completely missing the point now? Are these punches simply failing to land? But first, the story of what Rahul Gandhi said in Washington.
The fight is about whether he, as a Sikh, is going to be allowed to wear his turban in India, or he as a Sikh is going to be allowed to wear a kada in India, or he as a Sikh is going to be able to go to Gurdwara. That's what the fight is about. And not just for him, for all religions.
I have never encountered any problem, any suggestion anywhere in the world, let alone in India, that I should seek somebody's permission to wear a turban, or that I need to be careful in wearing a turban.
दिल्ली के अंदर 3000 सिखों का कत्लेआम किया, पगड़ियाँ उतारी, केस काटे, दाढ़ियाँ काटी, उनके ककार निकाले और उसका उनको जलाया गया। वे ये इस बात को नहीं बताते कि ये उनके रहते हुआ।
आप अपनी गंदी राजनीति करने के लिए, नफरत भरी राजनीति करने के लिए, देश को बांटने के लिए, समाज को बांटने के लिए, धर्म को बांटने के लिए इस हद तक चले गए हैं कि आज आप ये कहते हैं कि भारत के अंदर दस्तार सुरक्षित नहीं है।
राहुल गांधी जी अमेरिका के दौरे पर हैं, वहां पर उन्होंने सबको समान अधिकार देने की एक बात कही। बीजेपी ने उसका एक वाक्य निकाला और उसको सिखों से जोड़ दिया।
All right, so let's, for the benefit of our viewers, take a look at exactly what Rahul Gandhi said in Washington. He was speaking to the foreign school there in Georgetown University to students essentially, and that of course has led to a huge storm, political storm back home. He claimed that Sikhs are oppressed under the Modi government. He said, and I quote, "The fight in India is over Sikh rights. Will a Sikh be allowed to wear a turban? Will a Sikh be allowed to wear a kada, which is the bangle that they wear, which is one of the 5 things that are integral to what Sikhs wear and believe in? Will a Sikh be able to visit a Gurdwara, their place of worship?" He says, Rahul Gandhi, it's not just about the Sikhs. Our fight is for all religions in India. Now, here's the catch, that no Sikh has complained, certainly not in any systemic way, that he or she is being targeted for their faith. So why then is Rahul Gandhi spouting these inaccuracies, and that too from foreign soil? RP Singh is national spokesperson of the BJP. Dr. Ajay Kumar is national spokesperson of the Congress Party. Vipin Pabbi, senior journalist, is joining us. Nalin Mehta is managing editor with Money Control. RP Singh, so I just outlined what Rahul Gandhi said. Clearly, it's patently false, no doubt about it. But the larger question is, why is he saying it? What is the political objective here? What is he trying to achieve by saying these things?
Zaka, thank you for inviting me for your show. Let me just put the thing in context. Remember last year in February, he was again in one of the universities abroad, and he said, and he pointed out toward a Sikh youth and said, "You are treated as you are treated as second-class citizen in India." And then his friend philosopher guide other day said, when someone asked about the killings in Delhi, he said, "Wa to wa." So this is an ongoing effort being made by Congress Party to undermine the killings in Delhi and also to alienate Sikhs from the mainframe. I see this as part of a bigger conspiracy also. Because now what will happen? People like Pannu, Simranjit Singh Mann, Pannu will start quoting Rahul Gandhi, saying that leader of opposition in country is saying, "Oh, the Sikhs are in trouble. Sikhs have been discriminated in India. Sikh can't wear turban, can't go to Gurdwara, can't wear a kada. So they have been discriminated, and he'll use this as a tool." It's something similar to what Rahul Gandhi did when Section 370 and 35 was revoked. And he said there's a bloodshed in Kashmir. And same was quoted, exact his words were quoted by Imran Khan in UN Assembly. Now Pannu will use this for his objectives. Or this guy, Simranjit Singh Mann, will start writing letters for youth to take asylum abroad and then probably make some money out of it, saying that the leader of opposition is saying so there's trouble for Sikhs in India. So this is a part of the bigger game plan to sow the seed of separatism in country, so that there should be unrest in the country, because they know they can never be in power. So at least keep creating unrest in the country, and people who are abroad, they should fund all this unrest once they are sure and they feel, yes, Sikhs are discriminated in India, and then people staying in US or people staying in UK or Germany or Canada especially, they will start believing Rahul Gandhi because he's a leader of the opposition.
Let me ask Nalin Mehta this. So one of the things that the BJP has said is, if anybody should feel threatened, the Sikhs, if any political party they should feel threatened by, it's the Congress, because of course the history of what happened in 1984, the anti-Sikh riots, almost 3,000 Sikhs were killed. Just last month, Jagdish Titler, a court in Delhi, after 30-40 long years, found merit enough, prima facie merit enough, to recommend that charges be framed against him in the Pulbangash Gurdwara massacre that happened in 1984. Now my point is, Rahul Gandhi knows this history. In fact, he is not unintelligent to this history, or it's not like he's unaware of this history. Why then is he going on this whole tangent? Because he said the same thing, or at least words to the effect, again looking at a Sikh person in the audience when he was in Cambridge a few years ago, and he said pretty similar things. Now, even if he were to say this about Muslims, yes, you could say, yeah, the point is debatable. There are some Muslims who have been targeted in this country. Some lynchings have happened. And yes, it's a debatable point. Whereas with the Sikhs, there is no evidence to show that a Sikh person, man or woman, has been targeted for his or her religion.
So I think Rahul Gandhi has said a number of things along with his comments on Sikhs. He's also said that the election results themselves, there's a question mark on them, and in a free and fair election, in inverted commas, the BJP would have got a lesser number of seats. I think what he's doing is that when you throw a lot of muck, you hope that some of it sticks. On your specific point on Muslims vis-a-vis Sikhs, now firstly, I don't think any Sikh in India today feels insecure, and I think this is playing with fire. Because you do have the flames of Sikh extremism being fanned in Canada and several places overseas. By fanning those flames, that's a dangerous path to go down on. The thing is that the thing about raising the Muslim question is it also politically it also could lead to a counter mobilization, right? Of Hindu mobilization. When you raise something around Sikhs, there's that the chance of that happening becomes much lower, which is why from this point of view, from a very cynical point of view, you raise an issue like all minorities in danger, point to something at Sikhs, hope something sticks in the larger narrative of minorities being in danger, and I think that's what the calculation is. But I think it's unfortunate. I don't think that's true at all, and this should not have been done.
Dr. Ajay Kumar of the Congress Party is now joining us. Dr. Ajay Kumar, how can Rahul Gandhi say something which has no basis in fact? If he feels that there are Sikhs in this country who are worried about whether they can wear their turban, go to the Gurdwara, wear their kada, which Sikh is feeling that way today in this country?
The problem is, in the TV channels we take lines and then build a narrative. I expect even my colleagues who are on the panel to have at least shown some amount of ability to read. What was the whole statement? And indulge me. First of all, you have to understand that what the fight is not about politics, it's superficial. He named one Sikh attendee and said, "What's your name?" The fight is not whether a Sikh is going to be allowed to wear his turban or not. It applies to people from different religions. He said Manipur. No, one second, Mr. Singh, hold, relax. People from Manipur. Oh, sorry. I thought you were uttering something. Apologies. Manipur, Bengal. What did he say? So I would expect some better editorial control, yeah? Nobody is saying that, did he speak about Manipur? Yes. It's in the same speech. So my colleagues, Nalin or everybody else, unfortunate and kinds of words, tell me, Manipur was there, Bengal was there, South India was there, food habits was there. Shouldn't we have some courtesy?
But Dr. Kumar, the analogy he has used about Sikhs is wrong, is factually wrong, which is what Nalin... No, one second. To give you benefit of the doubt, to give the leader of the opposition the benefit of the doubt, if Rahul Gandhi said that, look, some Muslims in India are feeling insecure. Their fear is, can they wear a hijab? Can they go to their mosque? Can they offer namaz? Can they have their food habits? Yes. You can concede that point, if not partially, maybe even in full measure. But my point is, which Sikh is feeling that? Which Sikh is worried about going to a Gurdwara or wearing a turban or wearing a kada?
So one sec. So that's the only thing you picked up? The ideology of the RSS, whether it is Tamil, Marathi, Bengali, or Manipuri, why are you not having that discussion also with Nalin and any of the other colleagues? One sec. The same meeting. Sikhs is one example he gave. You are happily saying wrong example. What about the ideology of the RSS against Tamil, Marathi, Bengali, Manipuri? Why are you not having that discussion? Whether it is Mr. Nalin or
Dr. Kumar, it's a 1-hour speech. News organizations have the editorial freedom to pick what they think is the important piece of news.
Exactly.
And one second. No, hang on. And I'm sorry that if the leader of the opposition is making what is patently and factually incorrect statements, then then are you saying that news organizations can't put that on national TV, can't debate, and can't hold his party spokespersons to account for it?
No, I'm just saying that the news organization. One second. The news organization missed Manipur, Tamil, Bengal. So that's power to you. Second issue. All these times you have been 760 farmers have died. You have called everybody a Khalistani. You have said all...
I take objection to this.
One second, can I complete?
One second, let him finish. I'll come to you, RP Singh, after that, yeah.
RP Singh, sir, you need to subscribe to your own troll army to understand what they've been writing. आप अपने troll army को देख लीजिए Twitter में. So let me complete. Yeah, Guru, can I complete? Hey boss, either you speak or I speak.
No, once again, let him finish. But once again, Dr. Kumar, I don't think all of them were referred to as Khalistanis. You could make the case that some of them were referred to as Khalistanis. But go ahead, please make the larger point of what you're trying to say.
My question is, what is this debate that some of them or all of them or the kind of narrative? Pick up the August when that Red Fort thing happened, every Sikh was being labelled. So it's not when the farmers were there, they were labelled as terrorists. Okay, you show me where I'm factually wrong.
Please,
RP साहब, once again, let him finish. उसके बाद मैं आपके पास आता हूँ ना. I'll come to you once again. Let him say what he has to say. उसके बाद मैं आता हूँ आपके पास. हाँ.
Exactly. So my question is, when you're explaining to the people, whether it is a Sikh, there was a Sikh gentleman in front, he explained that the RSS ideology means one language is superior, one religion is superior, one kind of thinking is superior. Now, if the audience was more intelligent and the people on the panel seem to be having a challenge wrapping their head around this issue, then I understand why they would have a problem, but that's a different issue. My simple thing is, RSS ideology says that people with different food habits, different languages, and that was the gist of the story.
Nobody is having a problem wrapping their heads around it. I think if anybody is, not able to articulate what he's trying to say, unfortunately, it is your leader. Like I said, if he were to substitute the example that he gave, and instead of saying Sikhs, if he said Muslims, at least he had half a point there. But RP Singh, please respond. No, once again, RP Singh, please respond to Dr. Kumar's point. Farmers were sitting on the borders of Delhi. They sat there for over a year over the farm laws. A large number of them died. His accusation is your party folks and people on Twitter, people who follow your ideology, many of the farmers were branded as Khalistanis and so on. That's the accusation that the opposition has been consistently making for a while now. So please respond.
Well, just hear accusation. Just hear accusation, and I'll give a challenge. They ask him to show one tweet of one BJP leader who is of prominence or who matters in the system, saying that yes, they are Khalistanis. But on the other hand, I'm saying, quoting GBS Sidhu book, which said that Mr. Rajiv Gandhi conspired to kill 3,006, butchered 3,006 in city, along with Kamalnath, Jagdish Chatter, Sajjan Kumar Bhagat, to win election in India. What can be bigger than this?
Hey, Bengal IPS officer,
India. 3,006 were butchered by conspiracy which was hatched by Mr. Rajiv Gandhi to win elections. And they talk about Sikhs being discriminated.
Okay.
Who is discriminated? I'm very sure this is part of a bigger conspiracy to sow the seed of alienation among Sikhs and try to create trouble in India.
Okay, so let me go to Vipin Pabbi. Vipin Pabbi, I want to move on to some of the other parts of what Rahul Gandhi said. He for the first time, and this was his first sort of interaction where he talked about the election results of 2024, and he said that the election commission was behaving like Mr. Modi's commission. This was not a level playing field. Our bank accounts were frozen, and whereas the schedule of the election was so long and elaborate so that the Prime Minister could go campaign in every single phase, had it been a level playing field, had it been free and fair elections, the BJP would have not got anywhere close to 240. Again, he didn't go so far as to attack the EVMs, but after having seen the results of 2024, BJP coming down from 303 to 240, and the opposition, the Congress going from 52 to 99, and the opposition going up to 234, to still harp on about that it was not a free and fair election. Again, isn't that being disingenuous?
Thanks, Zaka, for having me on your show. First, I would like to point out about this particular incident, what Rahul Gandhi has said. And I would like to say that Rahul Gandhi needs to be more circumspect about whatever he is saying, and particularly when he is the leader of the opposition. The kind of statement he has made in the US is not justified. As you also mentioned, and other panelists have been mentioning, there have been no such incident. What he is trying to do is saying that maybe this kind of thing can happen. And this is fear mongering. And particularly you of course, and all other panelists also will appreciate that there is a constituency in Punjab and abroad who are already fearing, that feeling that, they are being, they're being under attack or something, or they're being discriminated against. The recent Lok Sabha elections, two of the constituencies, it is the militants backed candidates who have won, Amrit Pal Singh and Ben Singh's killer, former Chief Minister's killer's son. So there is constituency like this, not only in India, but abroad also. And these kind of fears, these can have impact. Therefore, I'm saying, as leader of opposition, he needs to be very circumspect. Second thing what you have mentioned is also the same thing that, you pointed out rightly, that they said that it was all compromised, election commission was compromised, and the voting EVM machines were not there. And the results show that there was really not much. And the results in certain other assembly elections also prove the same thing. So this thing has been going on for a long time. What Rahul Gandhi and his advisors need to appreciate that he's a leader of opposition. He's seen by them as a future prime minister. So I think he needs to be more careful about whatever he's saying.
But Dr. Ajay Kumar, I mean, here was an opportunity for the newly minted leader of the opposition to present what his vision for this country is. How will he be different, or a government under him be different from Mr. Modi's government in the last 10 years? Instead of saying all of this, the stuff about Sikhs are worried about whether they can go to Gurdwara, wear kada, wear turban, etc., and then saying the election commission did not give a level playing field. I mean, you just went from 52 to 99. Mr. Gandhi became leader of the opposition because the Congress party doubled its tally. And you're still singing the old tune of elections are not free and fair.
So first of all, give me a patient here. Mr. RP Singh, there was an IPS officer in Bengal who one of your MLAs called a Khalistani. So that's the latest. I mean, I'll prove it to you.
No, again, wrongly quoted.
Yeah, can I? It's either you have a different Google. Can I?
Sir, you can. I mean, you can put anything in the
you
news.
Have a different Google. India Today is reported. Hey,
I'm challenging it.
I'm not getting involved with this discussion.
Okay, let's not do a tutu meme. Let him finish. Then I'll come back to RP Singh.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for the.
Also, please cite source. If you're making an accusation, please cite source.
Okay, so now listen. Good. That's very good. Yeah, I'm glad you asked me to cite the source. So have patience, sir. Okay. So this is in your one of your one sec. Aaj Tak, your own sister channel, by sir. Sister channel, Aaj Tak. Google it, you'll get Aaj Tak. Bengal. सिख आईपीएस ऑफिसर को खालिस्तानी बुलाने पर अज्ञात बीजेपी नेताओं के खिलाफ एफआईआर. दिस इज आज तक. सो दिस योर सिस्टर, नॉट योर सिस्टर.
Come on, अज्ञात बीजेपी leaders. Come on, you are yourself confessing.
I quoted the one sec. Hold it. I'll quote you the second source. Now that you're so interested in the source, now let me quote you the second source. Okay, have patience with the print.
Mr. Ajay Kumar answered 3,000 Sikhs were butchered. आपके नेता ने 3,000 सिखों का कत्ल किया था. राजीव गांधी ने कत्ल कराया.
One at a time, please. I ask for patience and indulgence from our two guests, from our two political spokespersons.
Not two guys.
Let Dr. Kumar also, please. I mean, keep it to the question that I asked. I asked a very specific question. That is, why is Rahul Gandhi not using this opportunity that he's got, first trip abroad as leader of the opposition? Isn't he better off articulating what the opposition will do different from what Mr. Modi has done in the last 10 years, instead of making all of these factual inaccuracies about Sikhs being under threat and so on and so forth?
First question, election. I heard one of the panel speakers say it was not about EVM. It was about freezing of accounts. It was about the unlevel playing field. So, yeah, please get your homework in place. Did he say about EVM in the speech? No.
But what unlevel playing field? You went from 52 seats to 99 seats. What was unlevel about it?
You seized our account, my friend. Was it legal to seize our account before election? Is that a level playing field? What are you talking? I mean, have some basic logic.
If you feel that was illegal, please approach a court of law.
Sir, one sec, sir, I beg you.
The seizing of the accounts had nothing to do with the election commission. Mr. Gandhi is saying election commission of India was behaving like Modi commission of India. That the election commission did not give us a level playing field. What has election commission got to do with the freezing of your accounts?
What? The election was not a level playing field. Saka, I'm getting a little aggrieved with this kind of discussion. You freeze the political party's account and ask any other panelist, ask any journalist worth his salt. that is it a level playing field? You ask the other.
It's an unlevel playing field. Congress doubled its tally. Mr. Gandhi became leader of the opposition. Unlevel playing field.
No.
India Alliance got up to 234 MPs.
One sec. If it was a level playing field, the BJP would have been less than 180. So so please don't give in to those numbers.
Okay.
My question to you is, if you freeze an account, you answer as a journalist. If you freeze an account of a political party before election, is it a level playing field? You answer it, because I'm really curious to know your answer.
Okay.
No, I'm curious.
I think we're going around in circles on this.
No, I'm curious.
But I want to
know.
If you want to know, during the emergency and then leading up to the 1977 election,
to this question,
far more worse things were done than freezing of accounts, and yet the people of India spoke, right? So let's not get stuck in these nitty-gritties.
Opinion.
Let me ask Nalin Mehta one second. Dr. Kumar, 1 second. Let me ask Nalin Mehta. So Nalin Mehta, again, one of the other things that Mr. Gandhi said was, India is not a fair place. If India were a fair place, then we would think of scrapping reservations. Yesterday he said the idea of the RSS, and we debated this yesterday as well, the idea of the RSS about vis-a-vis women is you have only one place, and that's in the kitchen inside the house. I mean, is this what the world, his American audience, the people who are watching him around the country, is this what they want to hear from him? Or do you think that this was a lost opportunity for him to articulate something better for what the India Alliance and what the Congress party believes it is different from the BJP? Nalin.
So I think Zaka, Mr. Gandhi is perfectly entitled. Mr. Gandhi is perfectly entitled to put out whatever he believes in and so on and so forth. However, I think I wanted to take back. We started with a question on the Sikhs, and I wanted to respond to the Congress spokesperson on that particular point. See, while he did make a larger point on the question of Sikhs, he specifically said the fight in India is about whether a Sikh is going to be allowed to wear a turban, whether a Sikh will be allowed to wear a kada or go to a gurdwara. That's what the fight is about. It's not just for Sikh, but for all religions. Now, when you make a statement like that, whatever context you put it in, he specifically made the point about turbans, kadas, gurdwaras. You are going to be asked questions about it. On the question of should he have put out a more positive sounding agenda? Should he have put out his vision of what the Congress or the opposition would do in power as opposed to what Modi has done in 10 years? I think that would have been a good way to go. On the question of RSS and BJP, look, that is something Mr. Gandhi has been saying from the very beginning. It's always positioned it as an ideological fight, and it is an ideological fight between the BJP and the RSS and the Congress. But fundamentally, by raising the Sikh issue, in my view, actually detracts from his larger message, because it so obviously can be challenged.
So RP saying essentially.
Zaka, one last point. Yeah. Zaka, one last point on the question of free and fair elections, because that was being discussed. When opposition leaders talk about free and fair elections, that happens in Pakistan, it happens in Russia, it happens in Turkey, when the result is always fixed. In a country where opposition often surprises the government in election results, we saw what happened in Bengal earlier some time ago. We've seen reverses of BJP in other state elections, and we've seen this result, which has been a massive shock to the BJP. If the election was fixed, it wouldn't be 240 for BJP, it would be much higher.
Yeah, in fact, we just need to wait till 8th of October when we have Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir
just an intervention.
I also want to see what this whole EVM
just a small intervention. Just a tiny intervention.
Unlevel playing field. Yeah, 10 seconds and then RP Singh after that. Yeah, 10 seconds.
My question is to all the learned panelists: freezing an account of a principal opposition party, is it legal? If 25 ED raids happened on political opposition and 23 joined BJP, please ask my enlightened colleagues. Okay. Forget RP Singh. Out of 25, 23 joined BJP. Is that a level playing field after ED raids?
RP Singh, this is again the familiar attack against the BJP, the Modi government. You use IT. You have stifled the political opposition. Look at all the people that you put in the liquor gate scam behind jail. One by one, from Sisodia, Kavita, very soon I believe Kejriwal might also get bail. All of these fellows have got bail. I mean, you're basically just, topifying political cases against these people. It doesn't stand in a court of law. That's a familiar accusation against the BJP. RP Singh.
Well, they could have moved to the court for questioning the cases, but that didn't happen. Mr. Sisodia is out on bail with 30 lakh surety, and every week, twice a week, he has to go and be present himself to a constable in the police station, and his passport has been impounded, and he has to always keep his Google map on so that he can be tracked anywhere, wherever he is going. Mr. Kejriwal got bailed in with the ED cases with condition that he can't go to the CM office, he can't sign a document, he can't call for a cabinet meeting. But this is all part of the court proceedings. But and Mr. Rahul Gandhi is also out on bail, that his case has not been quashed. So is Sonia Gandhi. So they can keep chanting whatever they want to. But fact is that I again reiterate, I'm sorry, I have to come back to this, that this is part of bigger conspiracy which Rahul Gandhi is playing to alienate Sikhs from the mainstream. And he is doing it, I don't know, but it is possible that he is doing it to cater to certain set of people who want to do those, or want to alienate Sikhs.
But tell me this, RP Singh Saab, what is the political downside for Rahul Gandhi? I know, like I said, what he has said is factually inaccurate. He even probably knows it. But what is the political downside for Rahul Gandhi in saying what he has said? Now, here's the thing. Maybe you won't admit it on television, but you certainly know that the Sikhs are not exactly well disposed to the BJP. And evidence of that is in the Lok Sabha election results. We've seen, I think, correct me if I am wrong with my numbers, I think AAP got 2, I think Akali Dal got 1, Congress got 8 if I'm not mistaken. I don't think BJP won any seat in Punjab, right? Am I wrong with my numbers?
Two independents.
19% vote.
Sorry, two independents.
Two independents, and
sorry,
Congress got 6.
Yeah, Congress got 6. Now tell me, what does he have to lose politically? Anyway, BJP has 0 MPs in Punjab. So if anybody is offended by what Rahul Gandhi has said, if any Sikh is offended by what Rahul Gandhi has said, it's not like the political benefit of that is likely to go to the BJP, at least from whatever we've seen in the 2024 election result. RP Singh.
Jaka, let me correct your data and figure. We got something like 18.9%. Vipin will give you the right figure, something leading to 19%, although we didn't win the seat, although Akali Dal got some 8%, still won a seat. That's point aside. And we are party in reckoning in Punjab also. The next assembly election will show you that we are doing much better than what people expect us to do. But that point aside, Jaka, I again tell you humbly, why shall a person go on a foreign land and target Sikhs and tell them you are alienated? I mean, you are discriminated. Okay. This is, again, I'm reiterating, part of a bigger conspiracy being hatched against India so that Sikhs stays as a descendant in country, and then there is a big section of Sikhs who can be alienated from the mainstream.
Okay, so let me ask Vipin Pabbi, do you agree with that point? Do you buy that point? I believe today when Hardeep Singh Puri had his press conference, he said, you will see Pannu saying the exact same thing that, look, leader of the opposition in India itself is saying that Sikhs are under threat and Sikhs are worried about going to Gurdwara, wearing kada, wearing pagdi, etc. Do you see this sort of fomenting that further, whether it is in Canada or in UK or in the United States, that there is a certain section within the Sikh community in those countries, in the diaspora, which are going behind, separate Khalistan and so on and so forth. And Rahul Gandhi's statement, wittingly or unwittingly, fans those flames.
Well, Zaka, I don't agree with the conspiracy theory that he is trying to create a this conspiracy. But at the same time, yes, there are people within Sikhs and within Punjabis and others who will take it hook, line and sinker. They will say, oh yes, even the leader of the opposition saying that there could be a problem. There's not a problem now. There has been no instance ever anywhere in the country or abroad where Sikhs have been, they've been asked not to go to Gurdwara or not to wear turban or whatever. But he's saying that this could happen, and there is a section of society. We have gone through bloody Punjab, and when during 80s and 90s we saw so much of violence, and there is a constituency which believes in this kind of things, in this kind of a narrative. So, okay. And of course the people abroad who have been doing it. So it's a thin line, and these kind of statements must be avoided, which can create or provoke any section of society.
I'm going to wrap the debate, but just because Dr. Kumar brought up this point about freezing the accounts of the Congress party, when this matter was last heard by the Delhi High Court in March 2020, 2024. The court rejected the plea by the Congress party, challenging the order of the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, declining to stay an Income Tax Department notice for recovery of outstanding tax of more than 100 crores. I am quoting from what the judge said. The problems that beset the petitioner, which is the Congress party, today are thus and to a large extent of its own making.
Can I reply on that?
And that the party has been remiss in taking preemptory steps in respect of a demand which has remained outstanding right from 2021.
Your Honor, let me.
Sir, I am not a judge. I've just Googled this and shared what the court has said. You don't need to call me Your Honor, please.
So let me put a little egg. Let me spoil your party.
Okay.
The same offense was done by the BJP for a much larger amount, but you didn't Google that. So there are different rules for different people.
I suspect it didn't come before the Delhi.
Okay. It will do a lot of good for you.
I got to wrap up. I got to wrap up because anyway, let's see. Mr. Gandhi, I believe, is there in the United States for one more day, and whether or not he will say more controversial stuff, we will try and keep an eye out on. I want to move on to the other focus that we have, which is in Karnataka, where politics over the Kannada language and Kannada pride is continuing to escalate. The Kannada Development Authority has now urged the Karnataka Health Minister Dinesh Gundu Rao to issue an order making it mandatory for all doctors who work in all government health centers and hospitals to write prescriptions in Kannada. Now, in a letter submitted to the Karnataka government, the KDA chairperson has highlighted that making Kannada mandatory for writing prescriptions will be a crucial step towards safeguarding Karnataka's cultural and linguistic identity. This comes after the agitation by Kannada groups over commercial signages and even the legislative push by the Siddaramaiah government for Kannada quota in the private sector, which of course was later on put on hold after a lot of criticism from the industry. So the question is this latest proposal by the Kannada Development Authority an impractical one, especially in a city like Bengaluru, which is cosmopolitan? There are people from all parts of the country who live and work there and have done so for a number of years. And most importantly, doctors in government hospitals in the state are not necessarily from that state. There could be doctors who are from outside the state. There could be doctors who don't know how to write Kannada. So is this an impractical demand? But first, the story.
Or my humble request is at least write patient's name in Kannada. Now if you go to Bihar, they write it in Hindi. If you go to Madurai, they write it in Tamil. Then what's the problem of writing in Kannada in Karnataka?
What is wrong in it? It's an administrative language. So mother tongue is very important. People understand that. That will be in a simplified way. They'll know what kind of drugs are being given to them and all other things. Nothing wrong in it.
All right, quick face-off on the program tonight. Lakshmi Ashwin Gowda is spokesperson of the BJP. Sudhindra MG is spokesperson of the Congress party. Mr. Sudhindra, this is an impractical demand. I live in a place called Noida, which is a satellite city of Delhi. It's in the national capital region in a state called Uttar Pradesh. I go to a doctor. The doctor does not write prescription to me in Hindi. So to say that all doctors in all government hospitals should write in Kannada is an absolutely impractical demand.
See, first let me make one thing very clear. What the KDA chairman has requested is only sent as a suggestion that, to have an inclusive approach, and especially in rural places, for all the doctors to make the write the prescriptions in Kannada. It is just a request, and the person who has done this request, Professor William Male, he himself is a very renowned scholar. I mean, even the best of BJP or any party should not contest the kind of capacity or the kind of scholarly, this thing that this person possesses. So it is just a suggestion. Our health minister Shri Dinesh Gundarao is very well equipped. He himself is very learned man. He has a very good set of people around him. Then he will definitely consult all the stakeholders.
No, but
especially doctors,
the
and
problem,
then
sir, the problem,
see,
sir, is that
the
this is
kind
not,
of
Mr.
one minute,
Sudhindra, this is
one minute,
not,
the
this
kind
is not a case in isolation. This is now the prescription for doctors should be in Kannada. We had this whole case about the signage. 60% of the signage should be in Kannada. Again, it was mandated, and all shops, commercial establishments had to do that. Then this whole controversy about reservation in the private sector for locals, Kannada speaking people. Again, it was shelved because of a huge blowback from industry. So step by step, one by one, the state there is trying to push the envelope to see what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. So to say that this is just a humble request, I don't think that's quite accurate.
As far as the reservation in the private job sector is concerned, it is a part of the Karnataka language bill, which was passed just before polls by the BJP. They knew they couldn't implement it. They just passed it with about 10-15 days before the announcement of the election. They just wanted to prove a point before the election.
But you put it in cold storage. You put that proposal of reservation in cold storage after, of course, industry backlash.
The very same people who have passed, now they are coming out and they are opposing the same very.
No, forget about BJP. Forget about BJP.
So
industry opposed.
What I am trying to say, this issue is blown out of proportion. It is a small suggestion given by a KDA. See, this suggestion by the KDA chairman is not binding on anybody.
Okay.
Either the government.
No, it starts off as a recommendation, then it becomes a law. But let me ask Lakshmi Gowda. It's not like the BJP also is opposing this, ma'am. I mean, like Mr. Sudhindra said, you also passed the bill in the assembly when you were in power just before the election. So it's not like you are opposed to this whole impractical idea of writing prescriptions in Kannada.
Sir, since all the medical terminologies or all the medical prescriptions are not entirely translated into Kannada, as they've suggested by the KDA chairman, to write the prescription in Kannada is an ill thought out one, and it will only lead to preposterous inconveniences and also the lots of miscommunications. Since a health sector is a sensitive sector, and since it is making, and he is advising them to implement in all the government institute, government hospitals, community health centers, primary health centers. Basically, their patients are a very poor background. Any attempt to do with writing, any attempt to compel that to write in Kannada will only lead to lots of inconveniences to the poor patients, and it is not a practically implementable one. Rather than doing all these things, if they really want to conserve and protect the identity or cultural identity of the Kannada language, they must rise above the party politics, because to preserve land, language and other issues, water issues, everyone should rise above their party politics.
No, but their contention, ma'am, is that when you were in power in the state, you did nothing to promote the language. In fact, they have made you out to be a Hindi party, a North Indian party. So they are contrasting that with whatever they are doing now in power, promoting the local language.
Yeah, it is an agenda which is being propagated and disseminated by the so-called the high command of the Congress party, Mr. Rahul Gandhi ji. By being in a constitutional position, he is spreading all the misinformation and all false things about his own motherland and his own country. A person who cannot respect who cannot respect his country is really an embarrassment and a burden to the country.
Please stop.
He is rather implementing.
This is not what you need to answer.
Parochial things, mindless things about India. His envy, his frustration, his discontentment, his jealousy towards our legendary and visionary leadership of Mr. Modi ji is only reflecting in his.
Mr. Sudhindra, even the health minister was asked this. Once again, the health minister was asked about this prescriptions being written in Kannada, and he says if a doctor knows Kannada, then he or she can be encouraged to write in Kannada. However, making it mandatory does not seem practical. So even he understands that this is not a practical solution.
Yes. See, we are not claiming it is a law. Neither are we claiming that the suggestion by the KDA chairman is binding on the government or on the health minister. So where is all this controversy coming from? And we did not take lessons from BJP on promoting Kannada, because it was they who imposed Hindi. Congress believes in promoting all Indian languages, including Kannada. rather than imposing one language.
No, but
See,
how did they, how
languages,
exactly,
unlike
so Mr.
BJP's
Sudhindra,
one-size-fits-all
how
approach.
exactly did they
BJP
impose Hindi when Mr. Bommai was chief minister? Can you elaborate?
in the last budget, central budget, Sanskrit, the language Sanskrit for its development was given 630 crores. Well, Kannada, the
No,
development.
I'm asking you, when Mr. Bommai's government, the BJP government in Karnataka, no, Mr. Sudhindra, the previous BJP government under Mr. Baswaraj Bommai, when they were in power, how did they impose Hindi and de-promote Kannada? Please give me an example.
See, the funds that they were allotted for Kannada and its development never came through. And the official funds allotted, like I said, the Sanskrit was allotted 640 crores, while Kannada was allotted 3 crores for the center. Same BJP government. This is what the
But that's at the center. You're not even understanding the question I'm asking. When Mr. Bommai of the BJP was chief minister in Karnataka, how did they de-promote Kannada?
26 MPs to the Lok Sabha. So what is the use of Kannada people electing so many BJP MPs last time? When show me one, let the BJP spokesman highlight one issue on which we have got this. We brought the signage board issue to the fore. We asked for a regional identity. We asked for a separate flag so that our regional Kannada culture and this thing can be. Name one thing that the BJP has propagated to develop.
Lakshmi
Kannada
Gowda, please respond. They at least got the signage going. The flag was recognized when the Congress was in power. So what is the one thing that BJP has done to promote Kannada?
Sir, to promote our language, we have done many things. To promote our Karnataka identity, we have done many things. See, rather than using Kannada in prescribing medical prescriptions or doing something, they should improve actual structure, and they should actually improve the infrastructural bottlenecks that is existing. They should actually fill in the manpower. Since he is simply accusing us of doing or not doing anything for promoting Kannada or Karnataka, we have done many things to improve Karnataka. We have done many things to improve Karnataka's health sector. We have improved our health sector in terms of our medical indicators like maternal mortality rate, child mortality rate have been improved. And we have
but how does that promote Kannada language? Ma'am, how does that promote Kannada language? That's the question.
That Bommai has made promoting
Please don't discuss only about language. It is only
let her respond. Let her respond. Yeah.
Kannada has been made the mandatory language, first language from 1 to 6 standard. He has proposed that. Even before it was get implemented, we could not implement. But he has proposed that.
Exactly.
We were
when did you pass that bill? 15 days before the election.
We had a political will to do the Kannada a mandatory first language.
Okay.
That kind of political will we had.
All right. I'll wrap it up at that. Let's see how this plays out. This might be an innocuous suggestion by the chairman of the Kannada Development Authority, but if you take this whole business of language parochialism to an extreme, like we've seen in the case of, for example, reservation in the private sector, then what it ends up doing is, A, it's anti-constitutional because the Constitution allows you to live and work wherever you want in this country. But more importantly, the idea of India is also being played around with if you say that only people who speak a certain way, dress a certain way, eat a certain way will be allowed in certain states. That it just goes against the idea of India. That's a wrap of Brass Tacks. Thanks very much for joining us. I'll catch you again tomorrow night, same time. Good night.
अपघातामध्ये परमेश्वराच्या कृपेने कुणालाही त्या ठिकाणी जीवितहानी किंवा काही झाली नाही. मी परमेश्वराचे आभार मानतो. पण ॲक्सिडेंट मात्र याची चौकशी झाली पाहिजे असं मला वाटतं.
Well, joining us live for more details is Yasha. Very good morning, Yasha. Are there any reports of injuries in this entire accident? And what is the extent of damage to the other cars involved in the incident?
So yes, when you speak of this very case, there have been several cars that have been met with an accident along with this Audi car. Now, one was a Polo, the other one was a Maruti car. Now, this accident in fact took place at Kachipura Chowk. This Kachipura Chowk is in Nagpur. In fact, this incident took place in the wee hours of Monday, following which the person who was driving the Audi has been arrested. Now, your details that emerge in this case in fact speak about how the person who's been arrested in this case was in fact the driver of Chandrasekhar Bawankule's son, and apart from that, another passenger has also been arrested. But there were totally 5 people in the car, of which when we speak of the other 3 people, they've all fled. When we speak of Sanket Bawankule, Sanket Bawankule was also present in the car, is what we hear from our sources. However, there's no confirmation about whether he was behind the wheels or not. So here, as of now, details emerge speak about how it was the driver of Sanket Bawankule who was behind the wheels, and he has been arrested. Details also emerge speak about how there was a party that took place the previous night, which is where this accident took place. Those who've been injured have met minor injuries. There have been no major injuries when it comes to the accident in this case. In fact, those who've been injured have also registered the FIR in this case. Now, of course, we've also seen the details emerge and how Chandrasekhar Bawankule, the Maharashtra BJP chief, had also mentioned that those who've been involved in this should not be spared, and there'll be no political involvement in this case. But here, of course, 5 people. There were 5 people that were present in the car. Is something that has come out come out as far as the details in the case are concerned. As of now, Nagpur police is investigating this case, and those who've been arrested are being questioned. Yes.
Right, Yasha. Well, you rightly pointed out that the investigation is ongoing and there is an FIR that has been registered. But can you take us through what are the charges against the detained individuals in which they have been detained first? And what is the next step in the investigation that we are looking at this point of time?
So if I speak of the next step in this investigation, those who've been charged have been charged under clauses of accident. Apart from that, also sustaining minor injuries to those present in the other vehicle. When it comes to the investigation in this case, CCTV footage that we in fact see on our screen is something that cops have already access to understand who was behind the wheels. Apart from the details about what happened the previous night, is also something that cops are trying to understand and investigate in this case. Totally, like we've mentioned, there were 5 people in this case. So who are the other 3 people? Because as of now, details emerge which speak about how Sanket Bawankule was surely present in the car. But apart from that, the 2 people who've been arrested, one is a friend of Sanket Bawankule, the other one is a driver. So there are 2 people whose details is something that Nagpur police is yet to find out. So that is also something that cops are trying to understand. So this is the line of investigation as of now. Apart from CCTV footages, when we speak of those who've been arrested, their blood samples have been collected. They've also been sent for further forensic examination, and which is when it comes to these 2 people, details on the blood sample that have been collected would in fact show light as to whether those who were present in the car had also consumed alcohol or not. Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Yasha, for joining us on the broadcast. Well, Sanjay Gupta of Shiv Sena's UBT faction is joining us on the broadcast. A very good morning, Mr. Gupta. Thank you so much for speaking to CNN News 18. Well, we've just heard about this incident where Maharashtra BJP's President Sanket Bawankule's son is involved. What is your party's stance on this entire episode unfolding?
देखिए, ये अभी काफी इनिशियल स्टेज है. आपके मुझसे रिएक्शन के लिए कहा तो मैं आ गया हूँ, लेकिन अभी बड़ी इनिशियल स्टेज है. उसमें पुलिस के डिपार्टमेंट्स ने इसकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन करके इस बात की जांच करने की बात तो कही है कि इसके अंदर वामन जी के बेटे थे या नहीं थे. लेकिन ये एक एक्सीडेंटल मामला है. इसमें जिस भी तरह की पुलिस की जांच सामने निकल के आएगी, उसके बाद हम इस पे अपना रिएक्शन देंगे कि किस तरह की बात इस पे होनी चाहिए या नहीं होनी चाहिए.
जी संजय जी, आप हमें ये बताइए कि क्योंकि एक बड़े शख्स के बेटे का नाम इन्वॉल्व है इस इंटायर इंसिडेंट में, कितना जायज़ है इस पूरे एक्सीडेंट को पॉलिटिसाइज करना? क्योंकि हमारे पास ऑलरेडी एक स्टेटमेंट आ रही है शिवसेना यूबीटी के एक और लीडर की, जिन्होंने टाइम एंड अगेन एक तो अकाउंटेबिलिटी का क्वेश्चन किया है और सिमिलर एलिगेशंस रेज किए हैं बीजेपी के काफ़ी कार्यकर्ताओं के अगेंस्ट. तो आपका इस संभव में क्या कहना है?
नहीं, मैं इस इनिशियल स्टेज पर अगर किसी ने, हमारी पार्टी के किसी सदस्य ने इस पर अगर उंगली उठा करके किसी ने क्वेश्चन रेज किया है इतनी इनिशियल स्टेज पर, तो मैं उससे सहमति नहीं रखता. इसकी जांच अब जिस तरह के रिएक्शंस आए उसके बाद इसमें बात आनी चाहिए, क्योंकि सिर्फ ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के बड़े लीडर इसके अंदर शामिल है, उसके बेटे का नाम आ गया तो इसका मतलब इसको हम पॉलिटिसाइज करने लग जाएं. हकीकत को जाने बिना, पूरी हकीकत को जाने बिना, पुलिस की इन्वेस्टिगेशन होए बिना मैं इस पर किसी भी तरह के रिएक्शंस की समीक्षा नहीं करता.
जी संजय जी, हमसे जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. वेल, दैट वाज संजय गुप्ता ऑफ शिवसेना यूबीटी क्लैन हु वाज सजेस्टिंग दैट द इन्वेस्टिगेशन इज इन अ वेरी इनिशियल stage for them to be commenting on this. But let's take a look at the next breaking input that we are getting on.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree. One tree for humanity. One tree for Mother Earth. One tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
Presented by itself. Now, Shiv Sena UBT has already targeted BJP. Priyanka Chaturvedi has said, imagine if his father was not the president of the state BJP and his surname wasn't Bhavan Khule, but Thackeray or Pawar, and you would have the entire BJP frothing and outraging. Now, a party capable of building fake narrative on their opposition is now silent when it comes to own. Besharam Jhuti party is the comment coming in from Shiv Sena UBT's Priyanka Chaturvedi, where she's taken yet another dig at BJP and targeted them, suggesting that imagine if his father was not the president of the state BJP and his surname wasn't Bhavan Khule but Thackeray or Pawar, you would have the entire BJP frothing and outraging, a party capable of building fake narrative on their opposition. Well, joining us for better input and details on this is Yasha. Yasha, what is the BJP's response to Priyanka Chaturvedi's allegations that we've gotten so far?
So yes, in fact, as of now, BJP has not responded to this allegations level at Priyanka Chaturvedi. But when we speak of Priyanka Chaturvedi's tweet, she's clearly questioned about how if Sanket Bhavankule's father was not the president, and if it was someone belonging from an opposition party, the ruling party would have gone ahead and in fact built a fake narrative. This is the kind of stance that we've seen Priyanka Chaturvedi put forth. And this, in fact, when we speak of this very case, it comes in amidst the fact that over the last couple of months, there have been several cases of accidents that have been reported in the state of Maharashtra. In fact, it all started with Pune Porsche drunk driving case, wherein the name of wherein one of the prominent post builder's son was involved, and the name of one of the MLAs from NCP Agitwa faction had also come to forth. So amidst all of this, when we speak of several such hit and run cases that are being reported in the state of Maharashtra, of course, in this case, when we speak of the case, it's not a hit and run case, but there were several allegations at a level when it comes to Pune Porsche case also, saying that the MLA in this case was being shielded. Now here again, of course, though we've heard Bhavan Khule speak about how there will be no involvement, or there will be no political pressure, undue pressure that will be put on the police machinery. In fact, that a proper course of investigation would be followed. But questions here, of course, are being raised by the opposition leaders, be it Priyanka Chaturvedi or be other opposition leaders, right from Congress to, in fact, even Shiv Sena Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray faction. All of them have said that in this case, if it was someone belonging to Mahavikas Aghadi, which means from the NCP Sharad Pawar faction or from the Shiv Sena Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray faction, there would be a false narrative that could have been that could have been built around this entire case. But here, because it is the son of the state chief, is where the mechanism will be used to shield Sanket Bhavankhule. Yes.
Now we are cutting across to another breaking input and shifting our focus to Maharashtra, where an Audi car hit 2 to 3 cars in Nagpur this morning. Now, investigation revealed that the Audi car was in the name of the son of Maharashtra's BJP president, Sanket Bhavankhule, and police have seized the Audi car and has detained the 2 people. Now, these are the latest inputs that we are getting from the ground, where an Audi car has hit 2 to 3 cars in Nagpur this morning, and investigations revealed that the Audi car was owned or in the name of the son of Maharashtra BJP's president, Sanket Bhavankhule. Police have already seized the Audi car and has detained 2 people. As you guys can all, as you all viewers can see on your TV screens, we are presenting the visuals. Let's take a look at some of the reactions we are getting on this report.
रात की घटना है, सेंटर पॉइंट होटल के सामने ये घटना हुई है। एक कार ने 2 कार और एक बाइक को डैश करके वो भाग गई है और भाग गई थी। जख्मी कोई नहीं था उसमें, और उसका गुना दाखिल कर दिया है। दोनों आरोपियों को अरेस्ट भी कर लिया है और मेडिकल जांच भी करवा ली है। आगे की कार्रवाई चालू है और आरोपी के नाम अर्जुन हावरे और रोनित चिंतनवार है।
माझ्या मुलाच्या नावाने ती गाडी आहे आणि पोलिसांनी पूर्ण चौकशी केली पाहिजे, कुणालाही वेगळा न्याय लावू नये आणि पोलीस इन्क्वायरीमध्ये जे दोषी असतील त्यावर ती कारवाई केली पाहिजे। मी कुठल्याही पोलीस यंत्रणेच्या हातामध्ये बोललो नाही, त्यांना जे आढळेल सीसीटीव्हीमध्ये किंवा जे काही त्याच्यामध्ये गुन्हा दाखल होईल तो सर्वांसाठी न्यायासारखा असला पाहिजे. कोणी राजकारणाचा असो कोणी असो, पण मला जे वाटतं पोलिसांनी पूर्ण इन्क्वायरी केली पाहिजे, CCTV सर्व्हेलन्स तपासले पाहिजे आणि योग्य कारवाई केली पाहिजे. सुदैवाने या अपघातामध्ये परमेश्वराच्या कृपेने कुणालाही त्या ठिकाणी जीवितहानी किंवा काही झाली नाही. मी परमेश्वराचे आभार मानतो. पण ॲक्सिडेंट मात्र याची चौकशी झाली पाहिजे असं मला वाटतं.
Well, joining us live for more details is Yasha. Very good morning, Yasha. Are there any reports of injuries in this entire accident? And what is the extent of damage to the other cars involved in the incident?
So yes, when you speak of this very case, there have been several cars that have met with an accident along with this Audi car. Now, one was a Polo, the other one was a Maruti